Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you may be. Welcome again. This is me, teacher Leo Trevas, and here we are with another one of our flipped classrooms, right? This time I'm going to do something a little bit different, but who is my student and who come to my classes, you guys are used to that form of class, I would say. But this is a little bit different because it's flipped, so you guys can watch it whenever you may want to. And, well, it's a little bit more fluid, I would say. So, guys, today we're going to talk about a song that you guys have probably heard. If you haven't, in what planet do you live? This is Killing Me Softly. Let me share the screen to you. Killing Me Softly. Yeah. This song, guys, you probably have heard it somewhere. I know the first time that I heard it was in a movie. It was a little boy singing in a presentation, and everybody was like looking at him and, "Hey, what's this boy doing? Why is he singing like that?" The scene is really, really funny. And then afterwards, I remember listening to the Fugees version, but we're gonna see that in a moment. So today we're going to deep dive into the lyrics of the song. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot of new vocabulary and listen to some good music. So, shall we? So this is "Killing Me Softly" by Roberta Flack and others. So, just as a little bit of a start, the song "Killing Me Softly" with his song, that's the full title of the song. It was composed by Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel. The lyrics were written in collaboration with Lori Lieberman after she was inspired by a Don McLean performance in late 1971. So if you don't know these people, that's all right because most people don't. um, so Lori Lieberman, she wrote that song after she went to a concert by this guy, Don McLean. Don McLean, you, if you don't know this name, you probably have heard the song. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Yeah, the American Pie song, right? Brought my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. This will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. So it's a song that was very popular in the United States. Don McLean, I'd like to think that he's a little bit like the Erasmo Carlos of America. Um, and the song was also covered by Madonna in the 90s. But Laurie, she went to see a performance by Don McLean, and he was singing, among other songs, American Pie, but also a song called Empty Chair. When she saw him, she had this feeling that as if he were talking to her through the audience. Right? That doesn't really happen, but it was a feeling that was created by his performance. Yeah. This inspired her into writing the songs of the song "Killing Me Softly." She did that with her partners at the time, Fox and Gimbel. They were all Jewish, and they were all musicians, songwriters, and they kind of formed a trio of people and a partnership. She actually recorded that version in 1972, but it flopped. It didn't chart. That means that it didn't go to the Billboard. Well, at that time, if the song didn't chart, then it was as if it never existed. A very bad thing. Nowadays, Even songs that don't chart, they can have their own life. They can become popular on TikTok or maybe among a certain crowd of niche people who follow music. By the way, I don't know if you know this band, but it's my band. We make music for the niche crowd. So if by any chance you like heavy metal, go check us. That we're Dune Hill, by the way. Uh, so the song has been covered by many other artists, and it really only became popular with Roberta Flack's version. Yeah, we're gonna listen to her in a minute. In the 90s, the song was also covered by the Fugees with the beautiful vocals of Lauryn Hill. The version became a super hit in the 90s. I remember that when I was a child, and the song was played everywhere. But it was also a hit in the 70s with Roberta Flack. So poor Lori Lieberman wrote the song, then she made the song with the other guys, but she never really got the attention deserved until quite recently. So I don't want to spend much time anymore talking about it. Let's listen to Roberta Flack's song, shall we? Her version of the song. All right, that's powerful, right? I hope you enjoyed it. It's quite a strong performance, I would say. It's noticeable that she has all of that African vibes in the way that she's dressed, right? It's a very much of a 70s aesthetic that a lot of soul singers and rhythm and blues singers like Roberta, they use that kind of vibe. And amazing performance, such subtle, yeah, but also powerful vocals. You can see that the piano arrangement is very simple. It's basically piano and a little bit of drums and bass. Uh, the song is really made for the voice of the singer to shine. So a big arrangement wouldn't really work with this song, right? Now, guys, let's practice a little bit. Well, you have the lyrics. It's on Google Classroom or in the description of this video. Go and find it, get the lyrics, and let's do this activity now. So I will ask you to go back on the video, listen to the song again. This time, pay attention to the words and try to try to guess the words which are in the gaps here. So you will notice that the chorus is repeated several times. So I would like you to listen really carefully and try to guess what words she sings at the end of every verse. Okay? Every sentence in the verse. Also, I want you to guess the other words. From each verse, you have one gap. Right. So you can pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Right, and we're back. So I hope that you have done what I asked you to. Yeah, went back on the video to listen to the song again, and you have successfully managed to fill all of the gaps. So guys, let's take a look at the answers, right? First of all, she says, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song. killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, that killing me softly with his song. It's quite beautiful, right? There are reasons for why this song has so beautiful musical theory that I don't want to get into. But basically, what she does is that she plays with the expectations of the listener by changing the between minor keys and major keys in the song, right? In the song verses. That's basically the technical explanation why it sounds so good and so different. See, she repeats the same words many times, but it doesn't feel boring because of these chord changes, right? Very well. So let's take a look at the meaning of the this first verse. I'm going to give you one moment to pause the video and pronounce these words by yourself, because I want you to practice your English as well today. It's not only me who is speaking in this video. So you can pause in three, two, one. Right. So you have pronounced all of the words in the first verse. Let me pronounce as well so you see if you got the pronunciation correct. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. Well, it's so much boring when you don't sing, right? Be mindful of the pronunciation of the word whole, right? This word is important because the WH in the beginning of that word, it's pronounced like an H. So you don't say whoa, you say whole. Just like similarly to whole as like this with H. But whole means complete, right? It's a word that comes from Greek, by the way. It's cognate with the word holos, which means complete, full, everything. And it's also similar to, you see that word in Portuguese in words like holística, holístico, and so forth. Strumming my pain with his fingers. Let me zoom in a little bit. So strumming my pain with his fingers. First of all, what is strumming, guys? If you play the guitar or play an instrument, yeah, imagine I have a guitar with me. I have one over there, by the way, but I can't really get it right now because my cat is sleeping on my lap. Imagine that I am playing the guitar, right? So my fingers will make this movement. The fingers in this one, this arm here, or this one. So if I'm playing with a pick, a plectrum, yeah, I'll be doing this kind of movement. If I'm finger playing, figure picking, like this. This is strumming. Strumming is the movement that you make when you are touching the strings of a string instrument, such as a guitar, acoustic or electric, a bass guitar, a violin, or cello. Though you strum a violin or a cello with a bow, yeah, a bow. So you use that word for the banjo as well, for cavaquinho, whichever instrument you're talking about. Okay. Now, metaphorically, it works differently, right? The guy. That we can see that in the song, it's a woman singing the lyrical me, the lyrical person of the that's narrating the story in the song is a woman, right? And she is looking at a man, and the man is singing to her. Just like the situation that I explained between Lori Lieberman and Don McLean. The man is singing a song, and she feels so connected to him that it feels like as if the singer were manipulating her feelings. That's interesting, right? Such a connection. So it's like strumming, touching, manipulating her pain with his fingers. Notice that she uses the object pronoun his a lot. His is obviously the singer of the song, not Roberta Flack or Lauryn Hill or Lori Lieberman, but the song within the song. Yes, it's a framed narrative. We're listening to a song that inside is talking about a song. Interesting, right? It's a bit meta linguistic if you think about it. Singing my life with his words, yeah, so it feels like as if she's taking the notes of a journal, yeah, and giving to the guy, and the guy is making music about it. Killing me softly with his song. I love that expression because it's a bit contradictory, right? You cannot kill a person in a soft way. Literally, it would never be a soft thing. I think I've never killed anyone. Hope I never have to. But metaphorically, you guys understand. It's like killing. It's like losing yourself, uh, losing yourself to the song, to the singer. So yeah, guys, girls, especially girls, be mindful of musicians. Okay. Now I am a musician, but I'm the good kind, monogamic, respectful kind of person. But be mindful, girls, of the bad musicians, the ones that will try to get you and manipulate you. These are, in English you call them player players. Let me put it players player. Oh, he's a player. That means that he's a manipulative guy. Um, of course, women can be players as well, but most of the time it's men. Uh, if you want to be more gangsta about it, you can write like this: player. Yeah. Uh, so be mindful of players. Killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life, all of my life, my entire life with his words. Killing me softly with his song. Okay, if you don't have any other questions, that's correct. The second verse. I'm going to give you guys 1 moment to pronounce the second verse. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Hope you have pronounced it correctly. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes. So the keyword here is while. Let's pronounce this word one more time. While, while, while. While is time, right? For some time. And the pronunciation of the WH is different from the word whole, while. So you have to aspirate just a little bit. While. Not so strong. Some people can pronounce while without aspirating. That's good. That's not a problem as well. Be mindful of the word sank, right? So remember your participles. And in the present, it's the verb to sing, right? The past sang, it's past simple. And sung is the past participle. Sing, sang, sung. These are the verbs, right? And the noun is song. Interesting, right? So the vowel changes according to the tense and according to the class of the word. So if it's a vowel, it's if it's a noun, it's a song. If it's a verb, sing, sing, song. This is called ablaut, but let's not get too weird into linguistics today. Let's focus on the music. So I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there was this young boy, a stranger to my eyes. So she describes the singer as a young boy. And then she will repeat the chorus and third verse. I'll also give you a moment to pause the video and repeat pronounce the words. 3, 2, 1. So, coming back, I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he'd found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, right on, right on. So if you feel flushed, guys, it means that your face is red, it's pink. Yeah, that happens for a series of motives. If you are embarrassed, yeah, that's the case of the singer, the lyrical me in the song. If you are in love, okay? If you are laughing a lot, you can become red. And not all people get flushed, and you can see in the faces, but it's just blood coming in and making their faces pink or red. I get pink just for any reason. I just get, especially when I'm drunk, I get red quite fast. So I hope you never see me drunk, by the way, guys. I'm a teacher, so I will probably not see that. So all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. The crowd, right, is the people around you, the audience. She was embarrassed by the crowd because she was feeling so many strong feelings that she was looking to the left and to the right, and okay, is anybody paying attention to me? Yeah. And then she continues describing the feelings that she got from like watching this guy sing. I felt he'd found my letters and read each one out loud. Yeah, imagine we don't really write letters anymore, unfortunately. But imagine if somebody gets your cell phone, goes up the stage, and starts reading your WhatsApp chats with your mom or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Uh, it's not going to be much fun, right? So that's her feeling. That's the feeling that Lori Lieberman describes in her song. Also, notice a few things. This heed, yeah, that's the pronunciation. Heed can be two different things, right? It's a contraction, and it can be a contraction for he had or for he would. Now, he would be a conditional sentence, which is not the case. We're talking about the past perfect here. I felt he had found my letters. That's the correct tense. It's the past perfect. And read each one out loud. Be mindful of the pronunciation. Read in the past, read in the present, right? And I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on. He kept continuing doing that thing. And we listen one more time to the chorus. And we go back to the pronunciation part in the next verse. Three, two, one, and again. He sang as if he knew me in all my dark. That's a strong sentence. In all my dark despair. And then he looked right through me as if I wasn't there. And he just kept on singing clear and strong, right? And then she repeats the chorus and ooh la 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 la. But before the song finishes, let's take a look at this verse. He sang as if he knew me, as if they knew each other, right? And in all her dark despair, the word despair, guys, is a word. It's a noun, right? That describes as a feeling of extreme anxiety. If you are despairing, if you feel despair, it means that you are feeling an extreme feeling of, of sadness and anxiety and frustration. It's never good. Right? Despair is never good. Um, and when you feel despair, you become desperate. That's the word for it, the adjective for it, which is similar to Portuguese, but it's more similar to Spanish, right? Desperado. And dark despair, I think dark despair is a little bit redundant, but it fits the metric of the song, so it's all right. And then he looked right through me, as if I wasn't there. Let me explain that. What does it mean to look right through a person? It's when you look at the person and they are not paying attention. Sorry, you look at the person and you're not paying attention at the person, but you're looking at whatever is behind them. That situation, I will explain a certain situation that has happened to everyone who's listening. I am pretty sure. Okay, imagine you're walking down the street. Okay, you're on the left side of the street, just minding your own business. Somebody on the other side of the street starts shouting, "Hey!" and waving, "Hey, hey, hello." And you look at that person and you think about, do I know this guy? Who's that guy? And then what is your reaction? You wave back, "Hello, hey." And then you realize that the man was not talking to you. He was talking to the woman behind you. He was just looking at your direction. He was looking right through you. He wasn't even realizing that you were there. He was trying to talk to the woman behind you in the same side of the sidewalk. That's a super embarrassing situation, right? I imagine this has happened to all of you. So to look right through a person is to look at the direction of a person, but not really paying attention. If you have ever been on a stage, you will notice that if you have performed on the stage or as a lecturer or giving a speech or something, you will notice that it's impossible to focus on everybody's singularly, individually. When you look at the audience, you look at the general part of the audience, like the left side, the right side, the middle, the top, etc. And sometimes you try to focus on one person specifically, but most of the time you're just looking at people, and you're not really paying attention on individuals. Myself, honestly, if I start looking at people in the eye, I think people will become a little bit uncomfortable, and I will be uncomfortable as well. So I try to pretend as if I am looking at their direction, but I'm not really focusing on people. I'm focusing on the reaction of the audience as a whole, right? So to look right through. It's a phrasal verb, right? And he just kept on singing, singing clear and strong. All right, I think that's it regarding the interpretation and the English language part of our class today. Now, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So let's talk a little bit about Roberta Flack, the singer that you guys just listened to. So she's an American singer. She was born in 1937. She's still alive, by the way, but she's not in a very good health. She has ALS, which is a form of multiple sclerosis, right? And she became famous really in the 70s. A music critic called Robert Christgau, she described her as the most significant new black woman singer since Aretha Franklin. So you can see the potency of her voice, right? It has some similarities with Aretha, I would say. She has influenced a lot of people, especially people in R&B, rhythm and blues, and indie pop. Her music is described as classy, urbane, sophisticated. Now, the first time that Roberta heard the song "Killing Me Softly," it was during an airplane flight. That's interesting, right? You listened. Normally today, people just listen to their own podcasts or whatever in an airplane flight. But back in the day, they used to have those kinds of it's like a inside circuit radio show that would play music. And she had when she listened to the original recording by Lori Lieberman, she felt as if the lyrics were reaching out to her, were connecting to her. Just like the lyrical person in the narrator of the song identifies with the singer, right? The Don McLean type of guy. She made her version. She recorded it in 1973, and it became a hit in the charts. It was a number one hit, and she won the 1974 Grammy Awards for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Record of the Year. So it was quite a success. We also have a very famous version by the Fugees. Now, the Fugees guys, they are a really interesting group. Now, skip back some 20 something years, and we're from the 70s, we're now in the 90s, when I was a child, more or less. So the Fugees, they were this hip hop trio from New Jersey. Yeah, the name of the band comes from refugees. Yeah. And back in the day, it was consisted of Wyclef Jean, Pras Michael, and Lauryn Hill. Lauryn is an amazing singer. You guys will hear her voice in a moment. And Wyclef and Pras, they were these really seminal hip hop artists that they were DJs and MCs, right? So they mostly rapped and made uh, uh, and sampled other songs to make their own music and so forth. The group kind of blew in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. They had this reggae, R&B, funk, hip hop vibe, and it was in the height of gangsta rap. Same time of Tupac and those guys. But they were not really into the gangsta side of hip hop. They were more into the romantic side and social commentary side. Yet they were still quite popular. Sometimes they rapped in Haitian Creole, which is a language, one of the languages from Haiti, right? The country in the Caribbean. And also they were different from the other hip hop bands because they had a band on stage, drums and bass and guitar and that kind of stuff. Now, the song version was released in their second album. It's called The Score. Lauryn Hill sings the lead vocals. Yeah. And it became a huge hit as well. This is the version that I'm mostly familiar with because it played so much on the radio when I was a kid. Um, "Killing Me Softly" was the last song that they recorded for the album. Right? Sometimes that happens, and it was the most successful of all of them. Initially, they wanted to change the lyrics to something more like anti-drugs or anti-poverty, but the original songwriters didn't allow, so they sang the full version of the song. Uh, Before we move on to the song origins and talk about the original composers, let's listen to the Fugees version, guys. All right, guys. Which version did you like the best? The Roberta Flack version or the Fugees version? No, both they are quite good, I would say. Uh, the second version, the 1996 version, um, it's even more minimalist in the arrangements of the song, right? You notice that you can only hear basically a drum track, a bass track following during the chorus, and you have some samples, right? It's like a sitar sample, and it's very minimalistic. But the way that the vocals are arranged is super cool, right? So we have several layers, several and harmonies of vocals. I love that kind of stuff. Um, and Lauryn Hill, guys, just amazing singer, right? Powerful voice. I really recommend an album by Lauryn, which is called the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and you guys can listen to it on Spotify or something. And it's her first solo album. She left the Fugees, I think, at the time, and she recorded her first solo album. Amazing album. It's a concept album as well. Talks about her miseducation in love, and it has some interesting participations, like Carlos Santana, that's the guitarist, plays on the album as well. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. PowerPoint, né? PowerPoint. Um, the origins of the song, as I have explained, right? They tell the story of how Lori Lieberman, the original composer, felt when she saw Don McLean, the American Pie singer, performing that song, right? In an interview, she describes her reactions as, "I didn't know who he was. That back in the day, people would go to a concert without knowing who the artist was. Eh? Imagine that today. But from the moment he walked on stage, I was spellbound. I was mystified. I felt as if he knew me and his songs were about my life. I felt like he sang into my soul." She was completely affected by those lyrics, yeah, of the song Empty Chairs. So this is again the song lyrics. If you guys want to check it out one more time, you can pause now and listen to the Fugees with the lyrics if you so wish. Three, two, one, and we're back. So, guys, I think that's basically it. Before we go, I would just like to say that it's really important to listen to music nowadays, especially with a good focus, paying attention to the lyrics, paying attention to the arrangements, to which instruments are being played in the track, on the track. Really feeling the 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 feelings that are put into the song, and also the technical aspects, if you so wish. As uh, students of English as a second language, which is most of you listening to me, I recommend listening to music and reading the lyrics at the same time. So it's really simple to do that nowadays. You can just get your cell phone and open Deezer or Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, YouTube Music. They all have a function in the app where you can listen while reading the lyrics. Most of these the songs in those apps will have that function. So you can do that now to the Fugees or the Roberta Flack's "Killing Me Softly" if you so wish. But also do that to the songs that you love. One thing that it's really interesting is that sometimes we sing a song when we are in the car or in the shower, and we don't know the lyrics, right? So we sing like a fake English. Um, and when you finally come to read the lyrics and really pay attention on them, you just learn so much. You learn so much vocabulary, but also the pronunciation of words, and you can get some interesting cultural notes about that. Okay, guys. So I think that's it for today. I wish you a really nice week and weekend. Hope you have enjoyed this class, this flipped classroom. For my students at Senaki, I wish you guys a nice short holiday. And for people who are watching me somewhere else, I bid you look at the other videos that I have on the channel. I'm an English teacher and also a musician, and I make some classes, teach some classes about music and politics and things that I'm interested about. But I also have a band called Dune Hill, and I play rock and roll. Okay, so that's it. See you and take care. Bye bye.